Hi, I'm Jake. I make RPG supplements and videos about Pathfinder 2, or PF2. I love PF2, and I love cooking, hence the shirt. So this is perfect! I can do a cooking archetype. Okay, so cooking. We start with cooking. Thank you for being here. We're just gonna get right into it, because that's why you're here. Cooking is important to every culture that requires food for sustenance. From the most gilded palace in Goka, all the way to the most hidden campfire in the Valashmai jungle. Communities gather to prepare and consume food together. In a very real way, civilization is built around it. I love that phrase. I've heard it before. It's perfect for cooking and food. From the structure of cities around agriculture to the calendars and their planting and harvest seasons, to the rise and fall of days around communal meal times, people must eat. Food really does bring people together. Food and smiles. It's like the things that are universal. And I guess smacking each other, that's probably universal, but in the opposite way. Wandering Chef Archetype. No matter where you go in Tian Xia, one thing you can always find with some reliability is good food. Tian Xia's many talented chefs practice a wide array of cooking techniques, and many can be found traveling between the continent's states and regions as frequently as any adventurer. Chefs from Zia wander to expand their knowledge of cooking techniques, while culinarians from the Lunghua successor states visit foreign courts to display their pride in their regional cuisine. I looked at these pronunciations. I'm trying. Wandering Chef Dedication, level 2 feat, as usual. Whether trained in a noble kitchen or a humble home, you know how to cook delicious dishes and source ingredients from the wilderness or urban settings. I'm picturing foraging along buildings, and I wouldn't be coming up with yummy, tasty treats. You become trained in crafting. If you're already trained in crafting, you instead become trained in a skill of your choice. You can use cookware instead of an alchemist toolkit to craft alchemical foods. When using the subsist downtime activity, you can use crafting or cooking lore in place of survival, and if you roll a failure, you get a success instead. I have to say, since I learned about D&D 5e's chef cooking, anyway, there's a feat there, or background, that lets you make treats. I think it's a background. And I've always wanted something like that in Pathfinder 2, but then I started playing Pathfinder 2 and I realized that's alchemy. Like, yeah, you can make treats that heal people, but alchemy does the same thing and has more versatility. So I was hoping there's something similar in this, and we shall see. You gain the quick alchemy benefits, but can use it only to create consumables, and the consumables must be alchemical food. Alchemical food, it has a note here, such as those presented on pages 104 to 105 or on pages 46 to 51 of Pathfinder Treasure Vault. Or Archives of Nethys, because everything's there. Any items you choose with alchemical crafting must be alchemical food, but they can be first level or second level instead of only first level. You create up to 4 versatile vials during your daily preparations. Typically, a wandering chef's versatile vials take the form of parcels of foraged ingredients. Okay, so far, that is really similar to what the alchemist archetype gives you. The dedication gives you quick alchemy benefits and 4 versatile vials during your daily preparations, and gives you extra formulas. So it's good. Obviously, it's a good beginning foundational archetype feat. So, level 4 feat, morning side dishes, prerequisites, wandering chef dedication. You know a proper breakfast should have a variety of sides. You gain the advanced alchemy benefits, and you can create 5 alchemical food consumables during your daily preparations. So, with the alchemist archetype, you get 4. So this is 1 extra. Obviously, I'm glad I did that math for you. You're welcome. Level 6 feat. Prerequisites, besides the dedication, expert in crafting or cooking lore. There's actually a purpose for cooking lore. Great. Your number of versatile vials per day increases to 5. Much like the alchemist archetype. Special, at 12th level or higher, you can select this feat a second time to increase your number of versatile vials per day to 6. At 18th level or higher, you can select this feat a third time to increase your number of versatile vials per day to 7. Food preservation, level 6 feat. Prerequisites, morning side dishes, which of course you're going to take. Your techniques extend the storage life for certain ingredients and food through pickling, alcohol, or fermentation. When you use advanced alchemy to create alchemical food, you can designate one infused item to not automatically expire when you next make your daily preparations. When you preserve another item in this way, the previous item becomes inedible. I like that, so it can carry over a little bit. So you can, if you don't use all of your, I like that, because it's just saving your daily preparations, which you don't have a lot of. That's good, it's stretching them. The number of items you can preserve during your daily preparation and the maximum number of items you can have preserved before spoiling older items increases to 2 if you're an expert in crafting or cooking lore, to 3 if you're a master, and to 5 if you're a legendary. Cool, that's great, that's just a good benefit. Level 10 feat, Feast Planner. You learn the Fortifying Brew ritual. It used to be Hero's Feast. Basically the same thing. It's a little bit different, as in it doesn't heal you, which sucks, but it does everything else. But you instead prepare dishes for a lavish meal that have the same effect as the drinks from the normal version of the ritual. You perform both aspects of the ritual yourself, acting as both primary and a secondary caster. You must still attempt the secondary check normally performed by a secondary caster. In addition, you can use crafting or cooking lore for both the primary and secondary checks. The ritual gains the primal trait as nature spirits tend to you and your guests. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. It's just a beneficial ritual that is easy to grab and easy to perform. So that's a good feat. I mean, I guess technically you could learn the ritual without the feat. The easy way to say I don't need GM approval. Level 12 feat, Packed with Flavor. Prerequisites, expert in crafting or cooking lore. Edible morsels you create are particularly potent and bursting with flavor. When you craft alchemical food or magical morsels that allow a saving throw, or that grants an ability that allows a saving throw, you can change its DC to your class DC or spell DC, whichever is higher. When a creature consumes alchemical food, magical morsels, or portions made by you, it also gains 5 temporary hit points that last for 1 hour. That's cool. If you're a master in crafting, it gains 10 temporary hit points instead. Okay, so that also essentially exists in the Alchemist archetype, the changing the DC to your class DC or spell DC, but this also gives you the ability to give people temporary hit points. That's nice. It's an extra little boost, but it is a boost. Level 14 feat, Cosmic Cocktail. Frequency, once per day. Using the liquors, vinegars, and fruits or herbs at your disposal, you spend 1 minute to create a cocktail with colors reminiscent of space and its stars. If immediately consumed after creation, you temporarily see everything all at once, and you gain a new understanding of the universe. You know that movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's what happens. You gain the effects of a True Sight spell for 10 minutes. Use your crafting or cooking lore for any counteract checks. There's a misspelling here. It says oncer per day. ONCER. I know, it doesn't matter. I guess I'm not complaining at, like, the ability to just get a True Sight spell, but maybe I don't understand the lore behind that. Like, why would a chef get True Sight? Maybe it could be something different that's more fun. You can easily make variations on this, just the same level of True Sight, some other effect. Next level 14 feat. Regional specialty. Prerequisites, morning side dishes. You can create dishes that reflect the food sources endemic to your environment and medicinal food techniques utilizing the cycle of the 5 elements. When you create alchemical food from morning side dishes during your daily preparations, you can add 1 elemental benefit of your choice to each of the items. This benefit comes in addition to any other effect of consuming the item. Each element has an immediate benefit and a +3 item bonus to certain saves that last for 1 hour after the food is consumed. The item bonus increases to +4 if the alchemical item is 18th level or higher. So, wood element, remove 1 source of persistent bleed. For 1 hour, gain a +3 item bonus to saves against disease and poison effects. Great. That's very neat. Fire element, reduce the clumsy condition by 1. For 1 hour, gain a +3 item bonus to saves against being doomed or frightened. Both of those suck, so that's cool. Earth element, reduce the drained condition by 1. For 1 hour, gain a +3 item bonus to saves against being enfeebled. I like that a lot, and I use vampires and undead a lot, so my players benefit from Earth. Metal, reduce the stupefied condition by 1. For 1 hour, gain a +3 item bonus to saves against being stupefied. Great if you're a caster, obviously, or if you give it to a caster. Water element, reduce the frightened condition by 2. For 1 hour, gain a +3 item bonus to saves against deafened or drained. Also obviously useful. So that's regional specialty, which requires morning side dishes. This just makes your morning side dishes more useful. Cool. And that's it. That's the entire archetype. There's a note here on cooking rituals, and there are a couple of cooking rituals, but they're not technically part of the archetype. They're just new rituals that involve cooking that aren't even necessarily letting you roll cooking. Some of them are. So all of this is based on cooking alchemical consumables, which an alchemist could do anyway without this archetype. And if you take the alchemist archetype, you can do almost everything here and a lot more. And you have access to alchemist feats. This doesn't give you access to alchemist feats. I guess I'm just saying, pick your poison. Sometimes you'll want to choose the alchemist archetype over this. I like this because it's so focused on alchemical food that that's what you're going to be making. So even though like an alchemist could make alchemical food, most of the time they're not going to. This archetype requires that that's what you're making. So it changes the flavor of your character. No pun intended. But it does make your character feel really like a chef, or at least a cook. I guess I like the flavor this imparts because it restricts you in your alchemy to only consumable food items, which there are more in this book. It's not for everybody. I know I've said that before. If you're looking for just power, you wouldn't take this. You would take Alchemist, because there are more options, and this does not allow you to throw acid vials. But for those who want to have an actual wandering chef as an adventurer, this makes you feel like a cook, like you are caring for your party with food. And food is love, and if you are a cook or chef, you put yourself in every meal you make. You try to infuse your goodwill toward the people that you're making food for in your food. I mean, it's a fun aspect to put into a role-playing game or any part of life. So I support taking this archetype because the feel is right. It's not powerful, not when compared to the alchemist options that you could take instead. But it does give you a little bit more things per day that you can make because it restricts you. So I don't think it doesn't like suck compared to alchemist. You just have to restrict yourself to making only food items. And it's a lot of feats to spend on food items. So I guess I would have to say that in most campaigns, I probably wouldn't take this unless I have free archetype. And I can just use those to flavor my character by taking things that I love, like Wandering Chef. It has the right feel, and it'd be fun to play. And you know you have my support. Alright, so that's it for the Wandering Chef archetype. There are going to be more videos on more Tian Xia stuff. So I'm going to record another one after I change my shirt, because this is for cooking. It doesn't work for anything else. Thank you for being here, and if you're a patron, thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate you. And Loot and Gast appreciate you too, even if they don't say it. They're saying it in their little kitty hearts, their little fuzzballs full of fish goo. If you want to see other archetypes that might be other options for you aside from the Wandering Chef, archetypes are here. The rest of the Tian Xia playlist is here. And also, if you want to see Player Core 2 stuff, there's going to be a playlist here. Or, no, here. Okay, thanks, bye. Mwah.